What up, family? It's your boy AWOL. It means another way of living. It's an acronym. This video will be entitled Spirituality versus Practicality, Part 2. Y'all gotta excuse me, I just woke up, so may not be able to articulate myself very well, but I'm gonna do my best. That being said, where do we draw the line between spirituality and practicality pertaining to countering white supremacy? How do we go about this? Because, I see all these dudes, these Hotep type of dudes, these metaphysical, Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, Saw Netter, Polite, Young Pharaoh, Blue Pill, Red Pill, these type of niggas. Shaka Atmos, the 13th Son, all these type of niggas, man. Basically, if you really break down their message and their information, they're telling you to do nothing. Don't counter white supremacy. Just focus on yourself. Go within. Because brother, as above, so below, as within, so without. The external is just a reflection of the internal. See, brother, you got to get your mind right. That's black people's problem. They need to get their minds right. Is that they don't have knowledge of self. They need to go within. Then voila. As long as they do that, everything else will work itself out. And I'm like, that, all right, brother, I hear you. That sound good. But what happens when we do that? People do as you say. And as far as I'm concerned, people have, like, black people, we've always been positive thinking people. We've always been, I know slavery fucked us up a lot in the mind, but I feel like we've always been spiritual people and positive thinking people, even when we got conquered. And that's part of the reason why we got conquered, is we was a little too nice to people that didn't deserve our altruism. But I digress. So these same Hotep dudes, they will tell you, they will complain about the problems. They'll get on camera or they'll get on social media or go out in public and they'll complain about how our incarceration rates are so high and that how we live in damn near abject poverty and how we're killing each other in the streets and how Flint's infrastructure, water out of pipes, the water is polluted with toxins like lead, high levels of lead. And I'm like, why are you complaining about the problem? You just told me the universe is mental. Everything is in the mind. It's all, everything that you see, physical reality and everything that comes with it is all an illusion. You just told me that. You just told me it's all an illusion. You just told me everything is a reflection of the internal. So I'm like, why are you complaining about the problems then? You're a hypocrite. Because you try to make it seem like that your mind is right. That you're not operating in your ego. That you're operating in your higher self. Yet everything that you exhibit and display And everything that you do indicates otherwise. How are you complaining about a problem? In order for you to complain about a problem, it must be in your reality then. So you telling me that my reality in my own little world, in my own little bubble is fucked up because the way I think and the condition of my spirit and soul and the condition of my mental and emotional body. But yet, you can point out and identify the same problems that I can point out and identify within our communities, within our homes, within our world. So, obviously, your inner verse, your internal world is not as good as you make it out to be, and you judge other people like, oh brother, your mind is not right. Your mind ain't right either, then, nigga. It's like Gandhi talk. Oh, be the change that you want to see in the world. But Gandhi, see, he didn't just, the motherfucker was very spiritual, even though he was a racist, which I find that to be very hypocritical of his whole message. But he still went out there and mobilized people and organized people and came up with viable, effective strategies to fight those British oppressors. He didn't just, oh, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just going to go on a hunger strike, even though those hunger strikes did work. You feel me? But it's like, he actually put in work. What's faith without works? What's spirituality without practicality? Matter of fact, what is spirituality without physicality? You know what I mean? They both go hand in hand. What's the right brain without the left brain? Because from what my understanding, the pineal gland is in the center. So doesn't that mean that the third eye is activating the third eye is really you harmonizing the left and the right brain? Isn't that what my yacht is all about? Balance, masculine, feminine. But see, these niggas, they tell you to do nothing. They tell you to stick your head in the sand with your ass out like an ostrich. Even though it's a tornado coming your way, and to do nothing. Because see, brother, it's all in your mind. We not actually being fucked with by an oppressor. Everything is a result of our poor mental thinking, our poor mental state. And I'm like, if that's the case, then how is it that, and y'all niggas go around saying, well, white people, they're degenerates. They are degenerates, and they have a psychosis. They're psychopaths. They're sociopaths, and they got demons and all this and that and the third, and they're Neanderthals and this and that. And their minds are just fucked up. They're crazy. And I'm like, if that's the case, then how is it that, and you just told me that the external is a reflection of the internal. So how is it that these degenerates, these melanin deficient recessives, how is it that these motherfuckers are basically living in paradise here on earth while we're living in hell here on earth? So that must mean that their mind Their spirituality and mental condition is richer than ours. It's superior than ours. But let me guess, that's an illusion. I don't know, man. I'm just venting, you feel me? I don't have the answers. Sometimes I agree with the Hotep niggas. Sometimes I identify with those sentiments. You know? For real, I am a Hotep nigga to an extent. And what I mean by Hotep niggas is I just mean that niggas that's just too magical. It's just a broad umbrella term. You know what I mean? And it's not to make fun of people that think like that. Because even I, to an extent, think like that. I'm a very spiritual person. Even though I get on here and bash a lot of people. Even though I get on social media and talk shit about how these niggas is just overly magical and overly spiritual. I feel like there has to be some balance there. You know what I mean? Like take Kemet, for example, Egypt. Even though those people were very spiritual and magical and all this and that and the third, and they built the pyramids. See, brother, don't you know that the Egyptians, the Karamites, they built the pyramids with their mind, brother, with telekinesis, brother. That's how they moved those giant blocks that weigh tons and tons and tons. Because brother, telekinesis and all this shit. I'm like, but yet, despite all that, them motherfuckers they were sovereign here on Earth. They had their own land. They were organized. They had a government, military, and economy. They had agriculture. You know, they grew food on that fertile soil by the Nile. They defended their land. And they even went out their way to invade other lands. Think about that. These people that these Hotep niggas say was just so spiritual and they didn't operate in their ego and this, that, and the third. Yet, they still went out the way to invade other people. I mean, I ain't judging though. I'm just trying to make a point here. That despite the fact that they were very spiritual, they did things and they operated in a way that was very grounded and mundane. Hold up, y'all. Let me plug my charger in for a second. So yeah. So isn't that funny? These Hotep dudes, they try to live their life in the most comedic way possible. You got dudes like Shaka Atmos. He got the little lock on the side of his head with his head shaved off, like some type of like he's like Tut, like he's some type of because from what I understand, that used to be the hairstyle, one of the hairstyles, most likely the hairstyles of the royals, the pharaohs and shit. And I'm like, y'all try so much to be like these motherfuckers, living in the past, so stuck in the past, romanticizing the fuck out that shit, trying to dress like them, but yet it's all a joke to me because, like I just said, these people were organized. You couldn't just run up in Egypt and just and just have your way. You know, Egypt was a force to be reckoned with. And despite the fact that they were very spiritual and this, that, and the third, they still got conquered. It makes me think of the Haitians. Like, the Haitians used voodoo to free themselves. I'm like, why didn't y'all just use the voodoo to not get enslaved and conquered in the first place? And why aren't y'all using it today to stop these crackers from using technology like HARP to create hurricanes in the Caribbean seas, the Atlantic Ocean, by the Bermuda Triangle. Why aren't y'all using this voodoo to empower y'all economically and all this, that? I'm like, it don't make sense to me. It don't. None of that shit makes sense to me. And I'm like, all these niggas out here that's so magical and claim that they have all these powers and claim that this, that, and the third. I'm like, why aren't y'all using these powers to help our people then? But see, they'll tell you, brother, it's all of this is an illusion anyways. We're supposed to ascend to the fifth dimension and focus on ourselves. And I'm like, if that's the case, then fuck, you basically just saying fuck everybody else then. Fuck the whole group. Even though you act like you care. Cause, oh brother, I'm giving them knowledge. I'm giving them enlightenment. That's how I'm helping them. But how can they really, it's like the only reason why humans were able to just sit down and focus on spirituality and spiritual cultivation in the first place was because of civilization, order. Because with the advent of civilization, we were able to, instead of spending so much time trying to survive, hunting and gathering and all this, that, and the third, with civilization, we was able to chill because of agriculture. Now that we have an abundance of food and this, that, and the third, now we can chill now. Now we got the free time to actually build shit and to learn things, learn about our world, now we have time to write and read and come up with philosophies and explore the mind and create art and music, and you get my drift. Civilization granted us that luxury to just be able to sit there all fucking day and meditate so we can come up, so we can find some type of nirvana or enlightenment. I'm like, you can't even, it's like niggas is trying to be in the 12th grade, but we haven't even mastered kindergarten yet. We haven't even mastered taking care of ourselves and surviving. And how can you expect people, when you got all these motherfuckers out here, our people is living in poverty. Our people is actually going through real shit. Real fucked up conditions. And I don't see how you can bypass, how you can get people to bypass all that and jump straight to this magical shit, and their physical needs aren't even being met. It goes back to what I was saying about civilization. You don't have time to sit there and ponder your existence and your soul and your spirituality when you got lions and bears chasing you and your fucking stomach is growling and you're uncomfortable, you insecure in your survival. Your root chakra is fucking imbalanced. You know what I mean? I don't mean to rant and just go on and ramble. I know I'm kind of losing my train of thought sometimes, but you get where I'm going with this. You get where I'm going with this. And if we're not going to do nothing about the problems, if it's all about ascending to the fifth dimension and activating your Merkaba and all this, that, and the third, then I'm like, what's the point of even doing anything? Why have kids? Why? And I know that's a dumb question because biologically it's instincts to have children, to perpetuate the genes. It's instinctual. And I know when people are living in poverty, they tend to procreate more because The body is like, oh shit, I'm living in these fucked up conditions. Oh shit, I think I'm about to die any day now. I'm hungry. You know what I mean? But let me try to bust this nut in this woman to create offspring so I can perpetuate my genetic legacy, because I think I'm about to die here. I'm living in poverty. I'm going through but at the same time, it's like, because when you're hungry, your body creates less sperm. Your testosterone goes down. As a man, your testosterone levels lower. Your body creates less sperm. You feel me? And all types of shit. And it's like your body is going through that because it's like, hey, you're not in no position to procreate. So it's like, that's true that poor people procreate more because of poverty. But at the same time, it's like, that's false also, because why does sperm motility and sperm quality diminishes and testosterone levels reduce? Obviously, that's a sign your body's trying to tell you, like, hey, nigga, you can't even take care of yourself. So what you trying to go out here and fuck for? That's why your libido go down and all that. When you're under stress, you got all this cortisol pumping through your veins. It's your body trying to tell you, like, hey, man, keep your dick in your pants and get your shit together. You don't need no kids. You can't afford them. And it's like, I digress though, but it's like, back to what I was saying, like, why are we having kids then if we're not going to set anything up for them? We're just bringing them into a fucked up situation. And the cycle continues. See, rich people, they only have kids, and rich people that live in stable economic conditions and come from stable communities, you notice these people have less children. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a good thing, I get it. The Bible says be fruitful and multiply. I get it. I fucking get it. But see, brother, if we don't have kids, then how these souls gonna reincarnate? Or brother, that we don't have kids, then that's eugenics. That's the end of the black race right there. Is that what you trying to promote, brother? Nah, brother, I'm not trying to promote that at all. But I'm just saying. If if we're not gonna fix the problems, if we're not gonna do anything to effectively counter white supremacy, then what's the point? The point of having kids is wealth transference and legacy transference. But it's like, what's the point if we ain't got nothing to pass on to them? You just bringing them into fucked up situations, and then they grow up and then they mad at your ass because you bring them into a fucked up situation and you can't do shit for them. And on top of that, they're living under the umbrella of white supremacy and that oppression that comes with it. And you wonder why we crazy. You wonder why we go through the shit we go through. Because you niggas is just, I don't know. I feel like but then again, it's like, I feel like it's over anyways. We lost a long time ago. So sometimes I feel Hotep niggas when they say, focus on yourself. Because you might as well. Because it's not like black people gonna come together. It's not like we gonna get our minds right and get and pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and empower ourselves and I feel like we done. And you can call me a pessimist. I don't give a fuck, my nigga. I really don't. But I feel like it's a wrap. You might as well focus on yourself. And I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people resort to religion and to that spiritual Hotepi, comedic metaphysics and all the esoterics and the numerology and the astrology and the fifth dimensions and the Merkabahs and the going vegan and all this shit. That's why I feel like people resort to that, because it's a coping mechanism. It's an escape. It's a way of escaping reality. Because we feel like we feel so disempowered and we feel so helpless.